Guess where we're going today?
Hi there, Scottish Mudlarking here with Nicole and Craig. Today we're doing something a wee bit different. We are actually heading over to Petticoat Bay to have a look in the harbour there, see what we can find. But we're here very early for that. The tide's still well in, so we decided to come here. We're on the road to an old abandoned and lost village in Scotland called Binnend Village. Thanks to everybody for watching, commenting and liking the videos. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, please subscribe to the channel. A huge thanks to everyone for helping us out on Ko-fi. The support means a huge amount to us and it really does help us keep going on. So apparently, we've never been here before, but the way to Binnend Village is up this hill. How do you feel, ready for that?
Whew, let's go.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be so bad.
You say that now.
I say that now, we're 20 yards off the main road.
Yeah.
We better get on our way.
Let's see how far it is.
Some awesome ferns here in the undergrowth. Onwards and upwards. No, it's an interesting old wall because I don't know what that wall was a part of.
Yeah, I don't know, but I thought I'll have a look and check out that bottle. Turns out it's a modern Cronenberg bottle.
Yeah, it's from like last night.
Yeah.
So we can see with some of these old stones then, this is either part of the wall that we saw earlier, or I suspect it's part of the old footpath or road that led up here. You can see the whole pathway ahead of us is lined with these stones that are just protruding from the ground. That's good though, it's a bit wet here, so we're getting something to grip.
The leaves are falling.
Yeah, if you can hear that noise. Yeah, so we see that there's a wall on this side as well, and still these nice handy, I wouldn't call them flagstones, they're not cut at all, but yeah, they're certainly making it easier to get up this hill.
But there's a building there.
Oh yeah.
I found a bit of pottery. I'll leave that.
Okay, let's have a look and see. Yeah, Nicole's just saw a building. Let's have a look, see if we can see it. Yeah, that's covered in lichen and moss.
Well, yeah, first find of the day.
So we've never been here before, so I'm not entirely sure if this is one of the buildings of Binnend Village. But it certainly looks like an old building to me. You can see signs that former windows have been bricked up. So Nicole's just found something, or just sighted something. So climbing down the hill. It's an amazing sound. Just the sound, you know, that autumnal sound.
Yeah. Oh, you just walked past a big shard of pottery.
Oh wow, yeah, okay. So Nicole's just spotted, whilst I was enamoured by the sound of leaves, is this big shard of pottery here. No, it's just it's just dirt.
Maybe we find the whole cup once we're done with it.
Yeah, it could be a cup. Could easily be a cup.
Yeah.
So you said you saw a piece of blue. Oh yeah, I can see it.
I found a bit of blue and a bit of pottery. So
Yeah, so we found a blue glass up here in the hill.
Yeah, well, obviously it's not frosted, but you know, never shone a bit of blue glass.
No patterns on the pottery yet.
No, that's probably the plainest and simplest.
Yeah, we'll see a little bit more about what this village was built for when we get up there.
Yeah. See if we can find other things.
So I don't know how old these stones are. They don't look very old. In fact, they look like concrete, which isn't to say that concrete's not old, but it could be quite old actually. These could be from the 1950s maybe.
Very pretty with the moss.
Yeah, and we're finding that walking up hills makes you warm.
Yeah, very much so.
Not the same as the beach, is it?
No, no. It's a bit more strenuous.
Okay, I think we're nearly there.
Yeah, there's a wall up there.
Yeah. So we can see a wall with a doorway in it.
Home sweet home.
Yeah, back in the day.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm not sure what was there. We can see some brickwork that's coming out from the stonework. So the buildings that you can see behind me, these are part of a village called Binnend Village, and it was built here to house people working in the shale mining industry back in 1881. All in, there were around 128 houses here in Binnend, and that housed a population of 756.
The village had two parts, a high bin and a low bin. The low bin was characterised as a low-class area by comparison with the high bin. According to some sources, this was because the population was less fixed. People came and went through the low bin, working for a while before moving on, far more than they did in the high bin. The population of the high bin was then by comparison much more settled, and perhaps felt a greater sense of belonging as a consequence. Taken together, there were 128 houses at the low and high bin, housing a population of 756 people. The houses were built in the style that's called a button ben. That is a two-room house that usually only has one door, and the ben is the back room. I remember when my grandmother wanted me to go into another room in the house, she'd say, "Go and ben there," meaning go into the other room. Anyway, it was very overcrowded here in Binnend Village, so much so that people used beds in shifts, and some people even slept in the rafters.
So we can actually get a real sense of the width of the houses though from this. We can see Nicole standing here to give you a sense of how wide these houses. So this would be the end of the house.
Yeah, that's the corner there. That's maybe, I don't know.
That's a corner there, and we can see the arch where the roof's beginning as well.
Right.
So they were not massive. Let's see if we can get inside and get an idea of the floor space.
Yeah.
So we could hardly call this urban exploring, but here we are. Now we've never been here before, so we weren't quite sure what to expect, but we were just told as well by a gentleman who was just walking by that someone is said to have left an urn in here of one of the previous occupants.
Oh, how creepy.
Now, do you know what? This is two rooms. Okay, so the stretch between the wall that you can see here, and I'm just going to cycle around to where Nicole's standing. And that's the other wall. We can see there was some fans of heavy rock had come along here.
Rush?
Yeah, and AC/DC. Yeah, but that basically then this would have been two rooms.
Right, yeah,
Yeah, very interesting.
You might wonder why so many people squeezed into these wee houses, and the short answer is that the mines paid above the average wage, so people travelled here from the Lothians, across the Forth, and even from Ireland, because they could enjoy a wage that local Burnt Island folks claimed gave them money to burn. By the 1890s, the village of Binnend had its own church and it had its own school. In fact, it even had its own football team, the Binnend Rangers. The village also hosted two shops, but the folks here got most of their messages, that's a common Scots word for shopping or groceries, in the co-op in Burnt Island just down the hill. Those of the shale workers who had come from Broxburn and West Calder in the Lothians had brought with them the principle of cooperation, and they were the driving force behind the establishment of Burnt Island's first cooperative store in Harbour Place, and this opened in 1884.
So these buildings were only occupied by shale miners until 1893. In 1893, all the workers were laid off from the shale mines, and the following year, in 1894, shale mining ceased operations in this part of Scotland.
With the advent of World War I, the houses saw occupation again. This time though, it was soldiers and dockyard workers who moved into the village.
Between the war years, the village became busy once again as tourists from Edinburgh, Glasgow, and in fact all over Scotland started to rent out and buy up properties here as holiday homes.
By this time, only a few residents occupied the houses here at Binnend, and by 1931, Binnend Village was formally closed. The reason for this was that the village lacked most modern basics. The houses had no running water, no gas, no electricity, and no flushing toilets. Even so, a few people stayed on in the village and refused to move out. By 1952, only 2 families remained, the Hoods and the McLarens. In 1954, George Hood was the final person to leave the village, and he did so when he was 74 years old. Finally abandoned, many of the stones that made the houses of this village were taken and used elsewhere, and the land began the slow process of hiding the village among the bushes, grasses and trees on this hillside.
Oh, who's that poking her head out the window?
Hello. No visitors today.
No junk mail, thank you.
Oh man.
It's just incredible to see how quickly the trees and the foliage have just overtaken this entire area. And to think this used to be a village. Now Nicole's just told me that she's just found a couple of things. Whoa, sorry, uneven ground here. What you got?
Looks like two pieces of bottleneck and a bit of pottery. The bottlenecks look really old. There's a couple of kind of lines on it, so it's maybe, well, probably handmade glass.
Yeah.
Guessing it dates back from the time the village was here.
Yeah, and we can see those markings as well.
Yeah, this looks like an applied lip on the top, but we'll double check that with our Victorian bottles book that we have in the house, so that we can be sure.
Maybe a bit of homework.
Looks cool. I'd like to go in there or in there.
Let's see if we can get in there. I mean, there's a bit of foliage to climb over, but we'll see. Now there's a lot of slate here, and I've just found another shotgun shell cartridge. Empty, doesn't have the firing cap on it, but we can see quite a lot of slate, perhaps old roofing materials. There's a lot of it, either broken up or in larger shards like this piece. Looks to me like yeah, these are roofing tiles. Nicole's just seen a moosey. We're going to go up and see if we can see the moosey. Oh, cowering, timorous beastie. Is it a mouse? Is it a vole? I think, no, it's a mouse, I think.
Quite funny. It's difficult to run for the mouse.
Yeah, I don't think this is its natural habitat. It looks to me like it might be a vole.
Yeah, it's got a long nose.
Yeah, it's a wee vole. Wee silly wee vole, you want to get off the road? Oh, found a beastie.
You see the long nose?
Yeah.
So tiny.
It's very cute. I'm going to try not to scare it, but I'm going to try and get a little closer. Yeah, it's Scottish Wildlife. It's our spin-off channel. Wee velvety. Yeah, I don't know why it's not running away from us. It doesn't seem to be bothered by us at all.
Maybe it's blind.
A mole.
Spring mouse.
Yes, it's just bouncing around the place on the gravel. How bizarre. Poor wee thing. Get into the grass. We've left the village of Binnend behind and we're heading on up the hill. It's probably worth mentioning that this hill is another volcanic plug. What's that?
Are we in the right place?
I don't know, there are no street signs. This is badly signposted, Ward to Fife Council. But there's a male pheasant there on the field, and we just saw the female pheasant run off into the woods. Now I suspect, given that we're looking for the peak of a hill, it's over there.
Yeah.
We've taken a wrong turn. We found ourselves in this fallow pasture.
Got amazing views though, you can see.
Yeah, yeah, whilst we're here, I'm going to point the camera here. Although it's quite away in the distance, that large lump of rock that you can see, just slightly left of centre, is called Arthur's Seat. That also is a volcano, or an extinct volcano. And just, although I'm not sure if we can make it out, probably can, the sort of wedge shape that you see there,
Yeah.
that's a tectonic plate that was hauled up during seismic activity, and it's now what we call the crags. That's the Edinburgh crags.
We used to live quite close to them.
Yeah, we used to live within a very short walk of the crags. So Nicole's just vanished into this field to do a sneaky bit of field walking whilst I was doing a bit of filming there. Has it been worth it so far?
No.
Well, we decided to take the walk up the hill after all.
Yeah.
So we hope we're going to get up to the top here and get some lovely views.
Just like the turtle on the hare. Slowly.
Yeah, step by step. That's convenient. We have some wee steps going up over this wall.
That's wee steps here.
Ever the opportunist, we've decided to walk up the... You can maybe see how steep this hill is actually, just looking down here
Yeah.
just now, but Nicole's just spotted something.
Yee. A bit of pottery. Look, it's just there.
A tiny piece of clear pottery.
Yeah.
Maybe of the same kind that the... we think that was a mug, maybe a cup.
Yeah. Well, this appears to be a bit thinner, so that's probably been from a mug cup. So I've got a couple of pieces now.
Yeah, it could be a DIY maker mug.
Yeah. Of course we're hoping for beads, marbles and all those treasures, but you know,
Yeah.
who knows?
Oh, the odd pipe stem might be nice.
Yeah, we're not at the top yet, so let's go.
But anyway, whilst we're here, I'll let Nicole go ahead and I'll treat you to this view. Nicole has been digging, well, she hasn't been digging around, she's been looking on the surface of this field.
I found treasures.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a piece of brown ridged pottery and a piece of glazed, kind of black and glazed pottery.
Yeah, okay.
So it's different from the white one.
Yeah, a nice piece of earthenware there.
Yeah. Very different from what we usually find. So, whew, we're starting a field collection.
Yeah. Maybe this could be a new series. Who knows? Who knows? Only we know, and we don't even know. Let's see what we do. So if you can make out those tower blocks almost centre of the screen, directly ahead, you're looking at Kirkcaldy. I think Nicole's waiting for me at the top here. Alright. It is. You can see a hawk just hovering in the sky just behind you. You see that?
see the water's going out now.
Yeah.
There's a sandbank getting exposed. You can see Kirkcaldy over there, and you can see the towers that are in front of Leven.
Yeah.
So, you know, if it was a clear day, you'd have a slightly better view. Seems like it's starting to rain now.
Yeah, well, we'll have a quick look around and then we'll go back down the hill.
So we are at 193 metres, 632 feet high. Forth Bridges, 13 kilometres.
I'm just going to dig out my other camera so that you get a decent view of these, because you know we've climbed quite a ways to get a good view, so let's see if we can get a good view. Never an opportunity missed. Quite right.
Excited to find something with a bit of pattern on it. It's feather edge.
Oh, very cool.
Uh-huh.
Let's have a wee peek.
Perfectly in keeping with the time when the houses were here, 1880s.
Right, okay.
So that's a very nice find.
Very nice. I think it's not the first coloured piece we've found. We found the black glazed piece as well, but that's very pretty. That would have been posh pottery, I guess.
Well, I don't know, but yeah, it's nice to find something with a bit of pattern on it. So
Yeah.
that's pretty cool.
Very cool.
Got our wee bag here.
So if you can hear me over the wind, that's us on our way back down the hill now. So I've just been thinking, that's us done Binnend then. It's a kind of lost village in Scotland. Now we know another few lost places in Scotland.
Yeah.
So why don't we do a series? Scotland's lost places.
Oh yes, let's do that.
Okay, that might be a nice way to stay off the coast during the winter. Okay, yeah. So for the next few weeks then, we're going to have a wee look at Scotland's lost places. And the series is going to last as long as we can keep finding lost places in Scotland.
And abandoned houses and villages.
Yeah, absolutely. Anywhere that's been abandoned, overgrown, overtaken by the forest, or if it's maybe been, you know, overtaken by the sea or whatever, we're going to take a look at those places.
Cool. Look at the treasures we found today.
Yeah, this is not bad. I mean, this is just taking a wee walk along the side of a field and through, you know, some of the wrecks of the houses that were at Binnend. So some of these pieces look like really quite simple crockery, everyday stuff. Some are a little more fancy. Looks like we've got a couple of beer bottles in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, and some decorative pottery as well. That ridge brown piece, for instance.
That one, yeah. And the feather edge one, that little piece of blue. Yeah, I mean, we clean these up and they are going to be quite nice.
Yeah. Yeah, let's see if we'll do that then.
Yeah.
If you have supported us on Ko-fi, thank you so much. If you haven't yet seen your name credited, we do apologise. We work on a strange schedule. Sometimes the video that you're watching just now was filmed 3-4 weeks ago. Sometimes the video you're watching now was filmed last Friday. So because of that, sometimes your name might not appear for a week or two. We do apologise and we do really value your support.